do y'all want to hear about the time I was stranded on top of a mountain in rural China? About a few years ago, my husband and I were living abroad in China, and we decided, hey, we're in a new place. We want to explore. We want to get out of the city and go somewhere new and a little bit off the beaten path. So we took a trip to the Avatar Mountains, those beautiful mountains inspired by Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disney's Animal Kingdom had the mountains inspired Pandora. And we got to the mountain, middle of nowhere, really beautiful. We loved it. They told us before we exited the vehicle to get up. My husband and I reached Zhangjiajie, the Avatar Mountains. It was about a 2-mile hike up to the top, but we didn't want to waste the time, and they had a very convenient sky coaster that just brought you up nice and easy. So we took it up the mountainside and we got to the top, and they told us this closes by sundown. It was a little generic. We were like, we're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. So we took some hikes. It was a beautiful day. Definitely got a little bit later than we anticipated. So we hustled back to the Skytram entrance. And while I personally don't think the sun was completely set yet, we noticed that there's no movement and the lights were all off. Okay. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. There has to be somebody still around, right? The sun literally just set. So we look around, what had been bustling that morning with vendors selling their wares and with tourists was suddenly very deserted. So we looked at each other, getting a little anxious because this is rural China. We do not speak Mandarin and we see nobody. We noticed a vehicle, a car. There were a few cars that would drive around the mountain. We noticed one, we hailed it down and we asked him to stop. Through some way of cobbling, we figured out that they were driving people and dropping them off in locations. So we thought to ourselves, perfect. They have to get down the mountain somehow. This is our way out. So we hop in the car, no clue where it's going. And we're looping, going through the mountainside, and we notice we're starting to go up, opposite direction of where we're trying to get. So we stopped the gentleman. Again, it was very difficult to understand, but we got the idea that the people in the vehicle were people that worked on the mountain and lived there. So definitely was not going to be getting us back to our hotel. We exited the vehicle, and again, we're stranded on a mountain. At this point, we feel a little bit of anxiety. We don't know what we're going to do. In the distance, we see 2 shadowy figures. People. There are people on the mountain, so we run to them. And as we get closer, we realize they have the same look of bewilderment on their face because they are also 2 tourists lost on a mountain in rural China. But you know what? We have friends. We try to figure out, they're from Hong Kong, and they also have not seen anybody. It's not like in the United States where there's mountain rangers or park rangers that are there to get you safely out because, liability. There's no one there for us. We're really on our own. By the end of the hour, we have found 2 other people. So there's now 6 of us. It is pitch black on top of a mountain, and we do not know how we're getting home. We see a little light around the corner on a mountain, like it's light. We run to it like moths to a flame, and it's someone that lives there on the mountainside. So I didn't know what else to do. So everyone bought some beers, cracked them open, and we decided, we're going to walk down this mountain in the darkness with nothing but one flashlight on a cell phone because the other phones have since died. And I like to tell you that we did live to tell the tale. With a rogue dog that followed us down, we made it down 2 miles down a mountain, pitch black. And we made friends along the way. And I'm thankful that I'm here today to tell you about it. But the point is, that's a great story. It's sometimes the worst predicaments that turn into the best stories. And as an avid traveler, I actually place myself in a lot of situations that lend themselves for things to go awry. Like the time I traveled to Turkey and my friend was pickpocketed and my debit card was eaten up so we had no money. Or the time I tried to make a border crossing from Argentina into Chile, but we'd inadvertently thrown out our crossing paperwork. Or the time we chartered a long-tail boat from a local in Thailand and broke down in the middle of the Indian Ocean. I can tell you these were all bad situations, but each of these examples is one hell of a story. I didn't always approach bad experiences this way. Like most people, I don't want things to go wrong, especially on vacation. But it was actually a cast member that once said to me, And I think he said it off the cuff. It's very thoughtful. He said, you know, when you're in the middle of something really bad, like a really bad situation, man, that might stink in the moment, but afterwards, they always make the best stories. And that really intrigued me. It helped me reframe my way of thinking. Almost every unfortunate experience, something that happens to you where you feel like you have no control, it can almost always be reframed in a positive way. Even the worst experiences, like being stranded on a mountain. Sure, it's not inherently a good thing, but it can be turned into something valuable, whether it's a lesson learned, whether it's a cautionary tale, whether it's survival skills, or in this case, maybe just a good story to tell around with some friends. To this day, I'll sometimes literally be in the middle of a situation and I'll turn to my husband and say, whew, you know, this kind of sucks right now, but guess what? It's going to make a great story later. And I don't know if he really appreciates that in the moment, but my future self really does. And that's what I did while these crazy events were unfolding on top of this mountain. I realized that, ooh, I don't know how we're going to get down, but you know what? When buying this beer, man, that's going to be a funny detail later to retell. Maybe you all aren't all crazy travelers like me. Maybe you just are a sane and normal person who wants to go on vacation and relax. That is totally valid. I get you. But I hope this lesson can also apply to everyday life, the everyday bad stories. You know, something bad happening in the moment, maybe later, an hour, a day, maybe it's years you can take out and polish off and learn something from it or offer it to someone else as a value. You know, it could help you really enjoy the good times and sometimes shrug off the difficult ones. So the next time you're in a bad situation, hey, at least you'll have a good story. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster.